Hi, it's Rika here, once again to talk about another one of my favorite dark rides. And the idea of this dark ride first came when the Efteling turned 40 years old, and they wanted to open a new attraction because of it. Now usually when you want to make an attraction, you first have an idea and then you start thinking about the technical stuff. Well, for this ride the opposite happened. The Efteling first looked at the transport of this dark ride before they thought about the theming. They also knew that they wanted a thrill element in their dark ride that could give the guests less of a boring experience. And if you hadn't already guessed, this time I'm talking about Dreamflight, or Droomvlucht in Dutch, the original language. That just happened to be my first language. Lucky me. Anyway, the Efteling started looking at BRC, Imagination Arts, for their quest system that offered gondola that hung from the ceiling. They also looked into CMP, or computerized people movers, for a hanging system with hidden wires. Ton van de Ven, the main ride designer, reacted to the idea with, "So we flyin'?" and created a couple of rough sketches containing elves and trolls. They nicknamed the project Daydream. The Efteling chose CMP for their seemingly wireless ride track. They commissioned the ride in 1990, and in September the first parts of the ride had to arrive in the Efteling. However, the company CPM completely ghosted them and didn't answer phone calls, fax messages, or Instagram DMs. Turned out the company had major financial problems and the Efteling had to drop them from their project. They looked into many other potential companies to help them build the attraction and decided to hire a German steel manufacturer, BHS, for the track and supplier Translift for the transport system. But they usually made stuff for manufacturing cars and had no idea how dark rides worked. To make things even worse, the gondolas they already had from CPM were not nearly powerful enough to make it around the track, so they had to pull out more duct tape to fix that shit. Because of all these issues, the ride couldn't open on the park's 40th anniversary, but they did give guests at the time behind-the-scenes tours of the not-finished attraction. Which makes me sad that I wasn't born in the 1980s. And luckily, the ride finally opened April 8th, 1993, which could have been a happy occasion had it not been for the thunderstorm and fireworks, who were not silent like it said on the box, that riled up multiple noise complaints. Also, the fireworks weren't placed right, and of course part of the greenery at the entrance caught fire, which caused minor damages. Now that the ride is finally open, let's see what happens inside it, shall we? When you first enter the attraction, you walk under a beautiful entrance with a ceiling filled with fake plants, who at this point aren't on fire anymore. There are also light spheres that move from time to time. The rest of the queue are unfortunately boring zigzags, but hey, at least the ceiling is full of plants. After this, you step in one of the 28 gondolas and head to Dreamland, where you will see 36 big fairies, 12 small ones, 12 forest spirits, 36 animals, 2 moving trees, 11 trolls, and 2 woman fairies. You first climb up a rocky hill where you can hear the loud motors of the struggling ride vehicles, followed by mist and a breathtaking sight of beautiful rocky landscape with castles. Since 2023's renovation and new lighting system, you can now see the sun come up and then set again. I also love the mist and water effects. After another dark tunnel, you come into the first part of the fairy garden. Elves are dancing, singing, sitting in trees, flying around, you name it. And it's a gorgeous scene. But the most important character is this little forest spirit showing its bare asshole. Also, this woman fairy pops up every once in a while. After yet another dark tunnel, you see the second part of the fairy garden. And this one has a pretty lake in it, where people throw their last pennies in. The colors are very, very vibrant, and you can see the elves' housing and culture, with them flying around, singing, and petting various animals. Please just take a look at all the nice nature and scenes they provided. It's absolutely breathtaking and beautiful. Then the king of the elves, Oberon, sends you away in a long, starry tunnel. After that, you come in a dark, spacey room filled with moving castles and distant planets. This scene is just so calming. Just look at all the details on the castles. It always gives me goosebumps. Also, the Aurora Borealis was also recently added to the scene. Then your gondola moves up even more at a very steep pace, where you can't help but slide on the person sitting next to you, which personally made me score some points with my boyfriend Falcon. Remember me talking about a thrilling part of the ride? Well, here it is. After a sharp turn, you roll down a circular slope on 18 kilometers per hour, Rain starts to fall down as you see some trolls hanging on for dear life. Gliding down, you slowly see the forest the trolls live in, and once down, you see them playing in the muddy swamp waters of the woods. At the end of the slope, you get jump scared the shit out of your pants by this one troll jumping out on you. Seriously, fuck this guy. Finally, you enter the end of the swamp, where you can wave a final goodbye to the fairies while leaving this magical world. And that is Dreamflight, my personal favorite dark ride, a relaxing, truly magical experience. After watching this video, I truly recommend watching a long and actual proper on-ride of this dark ride, and see for yourself.